Genuinely, wholeheartedly ask the people you care about, how are you? I don't have an incredible answer on how you can find more joy, success, or love in your life, but I do believe that sometimes the right question is more effective than any answer. I don't know about you, but I go days without my phone ringing, weeks without a knock at my door. And don't even ask me how long it's been since I received a handwritten letter in the mail. At this point in time, I would just settle for a thoughtful, considerate email. I honestly don't know what bothers me more: how often telemarketers call me, or how seldom my friends and family do. Regardless of the temperature outside, the world has become so cold. Social distancing has expanded much further than 6 feet. It's so hard to even engage in conversations these days because everyone focuses on all of their differences: how people vote, whether or not they get vaccinated, their religious beliefs, what news they believe, what channels they watch. So many of us have lost our faith in politicians, scientists, in God. The world will fall apart if we continue to lose faith in each other and in ourselves. We need to focus on the many things we all universally have in common. We all need food, water, shelter, sleep. We get sad. We get lonely. We want to be loved. We want to feel like we matter. We seek to create memories and share those memories with others. No one wants to be the only one in every single photo they have. And yet, despite knowing this, there are people starving with a fridge full of food. They hunger for purpose, they thirst for conversation. There are people who live in abundance, their homes are filled, but they feel inescapably empty. There are people who feel alone in crowded rooms. They just want someone, anyone, to look away from their cell phone screen and into their eyes to acknowledge they exist. There are people in warm, cozy homes that are frozen in place, trapped by their fears and their anxieties. There are people with beautiful voices who suffer in silence. I believe that so many of us want nothing more than for someone to just genuinely ask us, how are you? And then give us the time, the space, and the patience it takes for us to answer a seemingly simple question after being conditioned for the entirety of our life to either not answer, say, fine, how are you? Or just give the answer we think the other person wants to hear. I think, I feel, I believe that it's a matter of life and death. I know that 3 words can change someone's life, whether it's the person saying it or the person hearing it. I know that to be true. I know it takes only a few minutes to save someone's life because I know it takes only a few minutes for someone who feels alone, afraid, and abandoned to take their own life. I learned this lesson the worst way it can be taught. I lost my 26-year-old niece, a friend of 17 years, and a friend of 6 years in this past year. In regards to my beautiful niece, everyone looked at her social media and the photos that she posted and assumed she was perfectly fine. But no one called, no one knocked on her door, no one took the time to ask her, how are you? And now no one can. They were so busy enjoying the show, just sitting in the seats, spectating, that no one took the time to realize everything backstage was falling apart and on fire. So, whether you feel like you know me, whether I've garnered your rapport, your attention, your reputability, whatever the case may be, what I will tell you is that is extremely important. I'm to the point where I'm just genuinely begging you, put your differences aside. Ceaseless, endless arguing over things that really do not matter. Anything that stands between you and the people you care about isn't worth having in the way. I assure you, let it go. You can't hold on to people if your hands are too busy holding on to negativity, memories that don't suit you, grudges that don't benefit anyone. Let go, let in. And I can tell you, however smart you think you are, however wise you think you are, here's some wisdom for you. There is no point in being right if no one you love is left. So take the time, use the phone for what it was actually intended for. And by the way, your cell phone carrier realized they can give you unlimited minutes because you don't fucking use them anyway. Take the time to do something you've been doing your entire life, but do it for real. Ask twice if you need to. Reach out to the people you have and ask them, how are you? We don't need wealth, influence, or power to make the world a better place. People just need to feel seen, need to feel heard. If you really want to solve the major problems in life, this mass shooting, the various epidemics that are going on, all those people were just lonely people in their self-imposed echo chamber with no one to listen, no one to hold them. Every homeless person you see is someone's baby. Every angry person you see, someone's child. When it all comes down to it, that's all we really are. Children hurting in one way or another who have been told it's inconvenient to cry, being conditioned a vast majority of our life to repress rather than regress. My friend ended his life 6 days ago. And I will never forget the last conversation we had. I'm going to share this with you. I haven't even really shared it with my family. The last conversation we had, and I know I'm taking up a lot of time. This is true. This isn't for a poetic effect or dramatic or anything. Last conversation we had, he said, did you know that if you don't hold a baby within the first few minutes that it's born, did you know that the baby dies? Without affection, babies die. And then the conversation went in a multitude of directions about how isolation actually killed more people than COVID, and it continues to do so, drug overdose, all that. And I couldn't help, and I wanted to say this to him. When's the last time you were held? When's the last time you held someone? Because this whole thing about, babies die if you don't hold them, that whole concept ends when we die, which is to say, doesn't matter how old we are, we all want to feel loved. We all want to be embraced in some sense. And I appreciate these mics. I appreciate these spaces. But I always feel like there's so much aggression. There's always this they and them, but it's never the people in the group. There's so much anger. And the last text message I got from my niece is what I actually have on my home screen on my phone. She said, I want to trust you, Theo. We're Spanish. but our family is so dysfunctional. I'm willing to give you a chance, but it's going to take me some time. She died a few weeks after that text message. So if anger turns to art, great. But don't let it tear us apart. Thank you.